Surviving 9 gunshots and rising from the streets of Queens to global fame, 50 Cent, aka Curtis Boo-Hoo Jackson, embodied resilience and talent. Now, how did the former hustler become the hip-hop industry's last real OG? Early life and background. Now, born Curtis Jackson on July 6, 1975 in Queens, New York, his early life was far from the glitz and glamour that he'd later come to know. Now, Curtis grew up in a neighborhood plagued by drugs, crime, and poverty, setting the stage for the challenges that he would face. Man, Queens in the 80s was a rough place, especially for a young man like Curtis. Now, his mom, Sabrina Jackson, was just 15 years old when she gave birth to him. Now, Sabrina, no stranger to the streets herself, was deeply involved in drug dealing, a lifestyle that had been chosen to provide for her son. Now, in Curtis's own words, she didn't see welfare or Burger King as a real option. She did what she thought she had to do to take care of me. Now, that's a tough choice for any parent to make, but it meant a turbulent upbringing for young Curtis. Now, growing up in such an environment wasn't easy. Curtis faced adversity on multiple fronts. At school, he had to deal with bullies, but as he'd later reveal, he'd rather take on bullies than face his own mama's wrath. Now, Sabrina was a formidable figure, and Curtis lived in fear of her. Now, he once admitted, I got bumped around a lot in the park, but I was more afraid of my mom than the people I got bumped around by because I could not escape her. To make matters even more challenging, Sabrina had little tolerance for her son's emotional vulnerability. If Curtis ever dared to shed a tear, she'd scold him and question his masculinity. Now, it was a harsh upbringing for a young boy, and these early experiences shaped the tough exterior that 50 Cent would later project to the world. The tragic loss of his mother. 1983, a devastating fire engulfed their lives. Now, Sabrina lost her life at the young age of 23, leaving Curtis, her only child, in profound shock and despair. Now, he later confessed, I think shock's the best way to describe how I felt when my mama died. Now, I didn't understand it. To have a single parent as your guardian, they're your whole life. It was a loss that would haunt him for years to come. Now, the circumstances surrounding Sabrina's death were clouded in speculation. Many believed that foul play was involved, and several outlets reported that she was murdered. Now, according to some accounts, she encountered a stranger who spiked her drink, took her home unconscious, and left the gas on, leading to her tragic demise. Curtis revealed that his mother's body was all fucked up when she was found later that week. Despite the complexities of a relationship, Curtis held a deep affection for his mom. Now, he understood the tough choices that she had to make in a harsh world. In an interview with MSNBC, he acknowledged that his mother had to adopt a tough veneer to play in a man's world. It was a world where survival often meant making difficult decisions. And tragically, Curtis also revealed that of his grandmother's 9 children, my mom is the only one dead. Her death was a profound loss that would shape his life in ways that he could scarcely comprehend at the time. The loss of Sabrina Jackson was a pivotal moment in Curtis Jackson's life, marking a tragic turning point in his already challenging upbringing. Grandma Beulah Jackson. Amidst the turmoil of Curtis Jackson's early life, there was a slight hope of stability and love in the form of his grandmother, Beulah Jackson. Now, she emerged as a pivotal figure, providing the support and care that he desperately needed. In a legal sense, she didn't just offer a helping hand, she legally adopted Curtis, cementing their bond even further. Now, she took on the role of his guardian, raising him as if he were her own son. Now, her unwavering love and commitment played a vital role in shaping Curtis's life. But life within the family dynamic was not without its challenges. See, Curtis's presence in the household stirred a complex mix of emotions among certain family members, particularly his Aunt Sylvie, who'd been accustomed to being the baby and the center of her mother's attention. Now, Curtis's arrival seemingly disrupted this delicate balance. He once recounted that Sylvie noticed how her mother would pause and look at him before speaking to him, accompanied by a special kind of affection. Now, this shift in dynamics wasn't always easy to navigate, and it added another layer of complexity to Curtis's upbringing. And man, speaking of complexities, in a verse from Days Went By, 50 also talks about his grandmother's alcoholism and his uncle's drug use. Rapping, my grandpa drunk, my uncle rock drunk, my uncle champ pump crack smoke my fucking stash up. I had 250 grams stashed on the porch. I mean, how much you gonna smoke, man? How much you gonna snore? Childhood trauma and emotional struggles. Curtis Jackson's early life was marked by profound emotional trauma. Losing his mom at the tender age of 8 was a heart-wrenching experience that left deep scars. The absence of a father figure further compounded his emotional struggles, man, and he carried this burden with him throughout his formative years. Now, Curtis found it exceptionally challenging to express his emotions, often retreating to his grandparents' basement as a sanctuary from the outside world. Now there, he sought solace away from the chaos and hardships that surrounded him. His emotional pain ran deep, and he found it difficult to open up to others about his grief and turmoil. Additionally, Curtis held little interest in ever meeting his biological father, remaining in the dark about his identity, a reflection of his determination to forge his own path in the world that had already dealt him a challenging hand. The life-altering shooting. In May 2000, Curtis Jackson's life took a terrifying and life-altering turn that would leave a mark on his journey. Now, in a shocking incident, he was shot not once or twice, but a staggering 9 times. This ordeal was nothing short of a nightmare for the brother, unfolding in broad daylight while he was in a car parked near his grandparents' home in Queens. Now, the impact on his physical health was profound. Curtis endured permanent disfigurements with scars etched across his hands and face. But perhaps the most astonishing aspect was a bullet fragment lodged inside his tongue, affecting his speech patterns and rap style. Now, it was a stark reminder of the violence that the man survived. Yet the shooting didn't just leave physical scars, it unleashed a wave of psychological effects. Curtis lived in perpetual fear, his anxiety heightened to an almost unbearable level. He was haunted by the possibility of another attack, constantly on edge. He revealed, "When you get hurt as bad as I did, you become afraid of everything because you know anything can happen at any time." The trauma of that fateful day fundamentally changed him, instilling a deep-seated paranoia that would shape his outlook on life and leave a mark on the persona of 50 Cent. And Master J, had a role in that. Mentorship and tragic loss. One of the crucial male models of Curtis Jackson's life was none other than Jam Master Jay of the legendary hip-hop group Run-D.M.C. Now, Jay's entry into Curtis's life was serendipitous, to say the least, and their connection would prove pivotal in his early rap game career. Now, Curtis had met Jay when a friend struck up a conversation with the iconic DJ, leading to a revelation about Curtis's aspirations in music. Now, Jay saw potential in him and took on a role of mentor, guiding him to the intricate art of rap and helping him develop his song structure. But their allegiance was tragically short-lived. In 2012, Jam Master Jay was shockingly shot dead at the age of 37. Now, the case remained unsolved for years, casting a shadow of uncertainty and grief over Curtis's life. Now, it was a profound loss for the budding rapper, as Jay had been the first person to truly believe in his talent and work as an artist. Jay's untimely death left Curtis grappling with the weight of his absence, but it also fueled his determination to honor his mentor's legacy and push forward in the world of music. So go ahead and comment down below what you think of this story before fame. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more friendship stories from the world of music and beyond. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. We'll catch you next time.